Yo, what's good? Still at it, going back at it again. And this discussion today, what I'm going for is this whole GOAT thing. This is my feeling on the term the GOAT that everybody like to use. It's like a real big thing over the last couple of years. I mean, of course, people always discussed it before, but over the last couple of years, it's been a real big thing. Who the GOAT? GOAT. Okay, greatest of all time. What do I think, or who do I think is the GOAT in basketball, football, and so on, boxing, and so on? Who's the GOAT in basketball? Nobody. Nobody. Let me tell you why. When you say somebody is the greatest player of all time, okay, first point is the eras. The eras. Okay, me myself, I started watching basketball in the Magic Johnson Showtime Lakers era, which is in the early 80s, I say. Like I say, yeah, like early 80s. That's when the Lakers was running things. Lakers and sometimes the Celtics will sneak a championship in there. Even the Sixers snuck one or two in there. But it was mostly the Lakers and the Celtics. I think the Celtics got like 3, and Lakers picked up 5 championships during that time. And that's when I first started watching basketball. And from what I can see back then, the league was a lot more. It was more even then. You know, you can hand check people. You can actually hit people a little bit. It's a little. It wasn't no easy thing. Going into the hole and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't an easy thing. Fouls weren't called as much. Flagrants wasn't called as much, stuff like that. So, in other words, you had to be a lot more tougher player playing back then. Like, for example, there's a couple of players that's playing right now that are just balling out of control. I mean, they are completely unstoppable. You can't do nothing to stop these players from doing what they want to do. And these players I'm talking about are Giannis, I am not going to try to say his last name, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant. And the reason I say these 3 guys is because of how thin they are. They're like real tall and thin. Now, if they would have brung themselves, like the way they play now, like especially Giannis, how Giannis just be in the inside, just killing them. I mean, he be killing them. He couldn't do that back then. I mean, he couldn't bring that little bitty frame he got in the hole like that back then. But they have sugarcoated the league so much to blend to the way, and I'm going to say it just like this, to LeBron James' type of basketball. They've blended the league to LeBron James. And I'm just being honest. And nowadays, but back then you one know. And another thing, like I be seeing like Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving, how they be like they got these great handles, so they would literally like just dribble all inside the paint. Man, they wouldn't have never tried that back in the 80s and 90s. That would not have been going on. They'd have done that one time, wouldn't have never done it again. But back to the GOAT discussion. So eras makes it where you cannot say there's a GOAT. You cannot say like no player from nowadays is greater than players that played back in the day. And no way. And there's no way to ever determine who was better. So they need to kill that on that tip right there for sure. Errors make it where you cannot say that kind of shit. And please, please kill it. And then I see that they also try to say that somebody is the GOAT. Like they'll be like a LeBron James argument person like from nowadays, because of course everybody who watch basketball in a certain era, they're gonna say that the main player from that era is better than everybody else. Of course they're gonna say it. Majority of the people is gonna say that. Like from my era, like most people from my era are gonna say, you guys who the greatest player of all time, they're gonna say either Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. That's what they're gonna say. You go every time. So it'll be majority of the people are gonna say Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan. You know, then the era before mine, they're gonna say stuff like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. You know, in the era before my era. And and then the era after Jordan, people gonna say Kobe Bryant. And in this era is LeBron James. And so people would be like, LeBron James, the greatest player of all time. But then somebody from my era would be like, no, Mike is. And then this person say LeBron. Then the first thing a person gonna say from my era will say, Mike got 6 championships. You know, he got 6 championships, right? And this is the thing that makes me laugh. They'll say Mike got 6 championships, right? And then somebody from Bill Russell era gonna be like, well, Russell got 11 championships. And then that person from Michael Jordan era gonna be like, championships ain't everything. But when the person from Michael Jordan era said to LeBron's era, 6 championships was everything at that time. That's why the argument is moot, you know. So that kills it right there. The rings is a bad way to judge somebody the greatest or not. Also, rings. You can't use rings. So that shit needs to be killed. Such a fake. All right, and then another thing. How are you going to say that one player, and this is not just basketball, this is football also. Okay, when it comes to football, I hear this all the time. They will say something like, Jerry Rice is the greatest football player that ever lived. Now they're saying that a wide receiver is the greatest football player that ever lived. Now, how are you going to say that somebody playing the wide receiver is a better football player than somebody that play linebacker? Or somebody that play cornerback or quarterback or lineman? You saying that this one wide receiver is a greater football player than the other? Was it like 17, 18 positions on the court, on the field? 18 other positions on the field, and you saying that this wide receiver can play these positions better than? Because when you saying somebody the GOAT, you saying that this person can play any position better than anybody else in the league. Nah, you being too literal. No, I ain't being too literal at all. That is what you're saying when you make that statement about Jerry Rice being the greatest football player that ever lived. Well, I don't care how hard Jerry Rice worked. Yeah, he worked very hard, of course. But everybody on that football field worked just as hard as Jerry Rice. But because Jerry Rice was so media friendly, and gave y'all good interviews, and y'all found him he got a lot of charisma, y'all go choose him to be the person that you're gonna make your golden child. And I love Jerry Rice. I say Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver that I've ever seen lace him up. I mean total receiver. Now, okay, now if you want to go by individual styles of receivers, now see, he's not the fastest receiver. He don't have the best hands as a receiver. He's not. I would say he's the best route runner, no doubt. But see, he's not the best slant receiver. I mean, it's different types of receivers. You know, so I mean that's what I'm saying. You cannot just sit up and say that one person is better than everybody else. And basketball is terrible too. So you want to sit up here and try to tell me that Michael Jordan is a better rebounder than Dennis Rodman or Will Chamberlain or Elijah Wan and Shaquille O'Neal, Ben Wallace? He a better rebounder than them guys? You say Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever played the game, or you say LeBron James, the greatest player ever played the game, but you trying to say that these guys can steal a ball better than John Stockton? You trying to say that these guys can shoot threes better than Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, or Larry Bird? I mean, you the one said this. You saying that these guys are the GOATs, the greatest of all time. That's what the GOAT mean. That means you telling me that this man here can play every position on the court or on the field better than everybody else. And so I know that when you make these statements, you don't know what you're talking about or what you're saying. Only thing can come close to being a GOAT in a sport is somebody playing an individual sport. Like if you got somebody, an MMA fighter or a boxer or something like that, then yeah, you might have an argument there. But even in that, you can't even make an argument with that because in boxing or MMA, you got weight classes. So you can't sit up here and say that Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer of all time over like the likes of Sugar Ray Robinson or Sugar Ray Leonard or Floyd Mayweather. So that don't work either. MMA. You can't say you call John Jones pound for pound the greatest MMA fighter of all time, or Anderson Silva or GSP. GSP is what? What is he? A light heavy? A light? I don't know what his weight class is. And then you got Anderson Silva middleweight, John Jones light heavyweight, Fedor heavyweight. These are all the top tiers of their weight class. So you gonna sit up and tell me that John Jones can go down to GSP's weight and beat him? I don't think so. Just like GSP ain't finna step up to the light heavyweight and beat John Jones. So that GOAT shit needs to be demolished. It really do. You see, I got some sloppy ass writing. Well, here go my final point on this GOAT thing. And this is my best point to me. I think it's mad disrespectful for you to even say that one individual person is the greatest that played the NBA game of basketball or an NFL player. I think that's mad disrespectful. These guys work hard, man. These guys work hard. I mean, I played high school football. I know they work way harder than I did, and I used to go play some fucking football. I played football in Chicago. I mean, I didn't really play high school football because I didn't believe in the school I went to. I didn't believe in them. Nobody from my school ever made it nowhere. They never tried to push them nowhere to try to get nowhere. There's some great players, basketball and football, that went to my school that could have been NBA prospects, but they never went nowhere because the coaching staffs and stuff like that never tried to do shit for them. I mean, these were some great players. I'm not gonna say no names because it's not my place to say their names, but I know that these guys and these professional guys, man, they work hard. They deserve the money they get. They really work hard. And once you play one game of football, your body will never be the same again. It'll never be the same again. You got guys that can't even hold their kids, and they can't even pick up shit because of the stuff that's happened to them in football. That's the dark side of football that they don't want you to know. I mean, great players from like the 90s and the 80s, you see them now, and they can't even make a fist, man. They can't make a fist. And so you want to sit up here and say that your favorite player, usually that's what it is, usually your favorite player, you'll say that this person is a better football player than these other guys that work so hard at their positions? That's mad disrespectful. That's like spitting in this man's face. You spitting in his face when you say that. When you come telling me that Jerry Rice is a better player than Lawrence Taylor. As hard as Lawrence Taylor worked, or as hard as Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Walter Payton. Walter Payton lost his liver because of football. Walter Payton wasn't no alcoholic or nothing like that. But Walter Payton took so much damage playing football that he damaged his liver. He wasn't an alcoholic or nothing like that, man. It came from football. And you want to sit up and say that Jerry Rice worked harder than this man? You got these guys out here, they brain damaged. They are brain damaged, man. They can't even think too far. They can't think straight. Concussions and shit. And you sit up here saying that Jerry Rice is a greater player than this man is. If you go say something, say Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver. That's all you need to leave that shit right there. I hate to keep saying Jerry Rice's name, but that's the one that they keep bringing up when they say it's the greatest football player ever lived. They'll say he's the greatest football player ever lived. So I gotta say his name, but I'm not going to mention his name no more. Another name they bring up a lot, saying it's the greatest football player that ever lived, they'll say Jim Brown. Or on to basketball. You want to sit up and tell me that LeBron James is a better center than Shaquille O'Neal or than Olajuwon? LeBron James a better shooting guard than Clyde Drexler? I'm going to be honest and tell you, I don't even know what position LeBron James play. Because the way that LeBron James play basketball, he don't play like a small forward. He don't play small forward. I mean, it might say he's playing small forward, but that's not what his game is. He's not a small forward because a small forward don't control the ball that much. A point guard do. LeBron James got the ball in his hand. I would say 80% of the time, the ball is in LeBron James's hand. Dominique Wilkins didn't have the ball that much. He gets the ball passed to him. Larry Bird didn't have the ball that much. I wonder, can LeBron James play without the ball? That's what I wonder about him. I wonder if he used to go to a team like with a dominant point guard, like he was trying to get Chris Paul. Chris Paul was not going to give up that ball because that's Chris Paul's whole game. Chris Paul's whole game is he controls the offense, and that's his job. He's the point guard. The point guard controls the offense. The small forward's job is to get open. And that's just my thought on this GOAT. This whole GOAT talk. I think it's disrespectful for you to make statements like that saying that one person is the greatest player to ever play the game for several reasons. It's disrespectful. But I'll be doing more videos like this on this channel. I got other channels also, but I'm still developing them. I'm still developing all these channels actually, but this is the one I'm on right now. I'll be doing more rants and my personal opinions on certain things that's in the media and stuff like that. I think I want to do a video on YouTubers versus these talk shows and stuff like that, like Undisputed and stuff like that. I think I'm going to do a video saying why I rather look at YouTubers channels than I do Undisputed and all these other shows. I think that's what I'm finna. I think I want to. That's what I want to do next because it needs to be done. I'm out. Holler back.